And because of this reshuffling, right, they were putting me in various places. In fact, they even gave me offer letter. I signed and they tarik balik my offer letter because I didn't ask for a copy. So that was my mistake. If you sign your offer letter, you should keep a copy of your offer letter.
Why did they tarik balik?
They tarik balik because change MD, change managing director. And the new managing director says, I don't want to approve because budget don't know whether can allow or not. But I want him to work under me first.
Or you can also say that the HR person who gives you the offer letter is doing a bad job because you know by default
right,
you have to give.
Absolutely. Her name is Valerie.
Valerie!
Yes. Yes. And I remember how much I was so upset with her. I told her, actually, the working style is terrible here. They make you work late every. And she just looked at me. She's like, actually, it's just not matched. I'm like, you did not listen to a single thing I said. Welcome back to VFO, Very Fast One. Today is the 12th of February 2024. What will we be discussing today, MJ? Take it away.
So all of us here have resigned before from our jobs, some of us multiple times. So we're going to explain to you, first of all, our story, how we resigned. And then what are some other good reasons to resign? What conditions should we be resigning and bad reasons to resign? And finally, of course, how to go about it. Okay.
Andrew should be here also actually, but it's okay.
It's all right.
We are committed to this.
So let's start. Poighai,
Poighai, I'll go first.
Okay, we go first.
that was your story.
So my first job after graduating was at an event company. All right, at that time I think I was 24 after doing my degree. All right, I only worked there for 7 months, and after the 7th month, I decided to resign. And this is to cut the story short. See, I cut the word short.
Cut the story short.
Story start.
Cut the short story.
All right.
Okay.
I only resigned because my superior backstabbed me and threw the blame to me.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was at that moment I realized I am not suitable for corporate because I know if this happened again, I will be very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
Aggressive towards the organization or whatsoever. Like
So-
physically, like I will do whatever I can to destroy.
So backstab meaning there was something that you're supposed to be him doing.
So I will tell you right now. So
Okay,
we
okay.
have this really big client, right? So me newbie, just normie there, just learning the steps, learning the steps. So we were going back in the LRT, so we were talking. So I mentioned to this dude, he's still in the industry by the way, but I've also heard that he's quite bad lah.
You want to name and shame?
Name and shame?
Initials. Initials.
His name. You know this Faye, I'm not going to say the name and you guys don't answer it.
Yes.
All right.
But you know, what's the guy who acted in 21 Street?
Channing Tatum.
My name is
Okay.
my name
If
is
you know, you know.
Okay.
If you know, you know, all right?
Channing Tatum. Okay, anyways.
Fucking dick. Right? So...
By the way, it's not Richard, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking, and I mentioned to him that we have this meeting with this individual and the following days. I told him, I said it, told it. So then the next week I went for the meeting but none of the superiors were there. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I just continued going with the meeting. So when I came back home, then all of the superiors asked me, hey, why you go to meeting? Why you never inform the boss? Then I said, I informed this dude, my superior a week ago. Then my superior's like, no, you never informed me anything. You never sent any email whatsoever. I'm like, but I told you in the LRT, no, I don't remember having such conversation. And then he just said, he informed me, he told the thing, this guy is new. Of course, he goes into this kind of mistakes and everything. Then I'm like, oh, wow. And that was the day where I decided.
Okay, so
that's quite mild,
if I look at the substance of what you're saying is, good reason to resign is if there's this kind of political backstabbing.
Yeah, but of course, I think maybe some people might find it difficult to leave because, of course, money is an issue. But at the moment, money wasn't an issue for me. Not because I was poor or whatever. It's just because I had money at the side gig as well.
Okay, so you have two experiences where you resign. Right?
Yeah, the other experience was last year. I actually went to work with another company. All right, so I thought what I could do is, because I work as an MC, and then when I work as an MC, I give them some cut, and I also work as an event people with them, more towards to get sales.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, so that was the thing. But juggling between two is quite difficult.
I see.
Right, and it will cause, I'm very sure it will cause problems. And for me, in the past 10 years, I've worked very flexible. So flexibility is very important for me.
Okay.
And that is how I perceive working. If you need to be flexible, structure rigid is not the way to go right now for me. So by these two reasoning, I felt that, and I was also working with someone who I knew. So I choose to save and savor the relationship rather than to make it become an issue. So I say this is not going to work out, and then we left.
So if I summarize, the second reason, a legit reason to resign is because of your working style.
Correct lah.
Summarize.
My working stuff lah. Because I need flexibility, and I wasn't in the industry for a very long time, so I was catching up.
Okay.
Like if you are like me, to be honest, I wasn't very good in doing the decks and everything, in the event stuff. I was probably better running it rather than the back process. So I was really way behind. So catching up back and everything. Not saying that I cannot. It's gonna take some time.
Okay.
But I just couldn't stand the inflexibility lah.
So political backstabbing and working style clashes. So that these two.
Working style clashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, mine my
Fast how long did I kept
5
it?
minutes.
it's quite fast.
3.5.
Very fast one.
Okay, I will control.
First job was I don't even care. I'll say
it
the company.
Magni?
No, it's Ogilvy.
Oh.
Ogilvy won, and I feel like that time I had a very optimistic view of the industry in which your ideas would be incorporated into your projects and your campaigns. Not very true, especially when you're a junior, so you shouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
And number two, I feel that I did not do enough research when it comes to the company breakdown in terms of roles. So there's always client servicing, there's designers, there's copywriters, there's project managers, etc. Right? And when I came in, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was very young. So because when I was young, I thought I just wanted to I just like stories. So I used to watch a lot of ad campaigns. I used to watch a lot of videos on YouTube and shit like that. Then when I went in, I thought like my ideas would be incorporated via discussions, via brainstorming sessions and all that. Was not true. So they put me in client servicing because they felt as if I spoke well enough to do client servicing. I shouldn't be desk bound. And in the end, I ultimately hated myself for it. But silver lining is because I hated it so much, I started my YouTube channel.
Okay, so pause. So what you wanted to do was to create ads and tell story through ads,
Yes.
but you end up working with your clients to make sure the communication is right when your other team members were the ones that were doing what you wanted to do.
Yes, and also a lot of figures. So like I need to do a lot of research. I need to go through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, see the likes, see the reactions. It's very, very database. So because it's so database, it kind of takes the joy out of the creative part, which leads me to my second job. But that first job was a total chaotic disaster because number one, I'm an idiot. I didn't do research before I joined. Number two, I feel that when I was working there, it was also a internal mess when it came to the restructuring of the company. It was overall called Ogilvy. They had subsidiaries called Ogilvy in Mather, Ogilvy PR, Ogilvy One, etc. And because of this reshuffling, right, they were putting me in various places. In fact, they even gave me offer letter. I signed, and they tarik balik my offer letter because I didn't ask for a copy. So that was my mistake. If you sign your offer letter, you should keep a copy of your offer letter.
Why did they tarik balik?
They tarik balik because change MD, change managing director. And the new managing director says, I don't want to approve because budget don't know whether can allow or not. But I want him to work under me first.
Or you can also say that the HR person who gives you the offer letter is doing a bad job because you know by default
right,
you have to give.
Absolutely. Her name is Valerie.
Valerie!
Yes. And I remember how much I was so upset with her. I told her, actually, the working style is terrible here. They make you work late every. And she just looked at me. She's like, actually, it's just not match. I'm like, you did not listen to a single thing I said.
I don't think she was interested.
She was not. It was in interest of the company, confirm.
So, okay, if I understand correctly, number one is you didn't do research, you're saying?
Yes.
Meaning you did not, or is it an issue of research or is it an issue of expectations?
It's both lah, I think. It's because I think when you study advertising at the time as a kid, they kind of tell you that, oh, it's the glam. You get to go to awards, you get to win awards, you get to tell stories, beautiful movies and shit like that lah, right? But in the end, they don't tell you the behind the scenes where it's like, oh, it's what the client wants. Oh, actually, right, there are fake ads. You know, there are fake ads. They do fake ads with zero budget, right? Just to make it look good so you can win an award.
And I can relate so much because I come from the agency world as well. You're right.
Yeah, back end is all mock ads one. It's not even real one. They just draw for fun. They ask the client to approve it. When the client approve, then they just send it out. One random magazine will publish it and they'll be like, very creative, win award.
There's no soul. There's a whole ecosystem that just supports all this. All this award winning. It's not because
fake lah.
It's a circle jerk one.
It's just a circle jerk.
Right. Yeah.
So of course, the other reason beyond research expectation is also that the company was
It's a mess.
a complete mess.
Yep.
So you do not want to join a sinking boat lah, basically.
I decided when they did approve me and they give me a second offer letter, I said no thanks.
Okay, so then your second company, which you also resigned from, what was the reason?
Actually, the first story leads to the second story. So as I was resigning, and that day I was supposed to receive that second offer letter, which I rejected, I was having a cigarette with one of the other managing directors of a different department, whose name is Sulin, very kind person. She asked me to pow one cigarette. I give her one cigarette, and she said, "Hey, actually, you speak so well. Why are you in client servicing?" Nah, like you tell me, man. They put me here, man.
But the fact that you can speak so well is why you should be in client servicing.
Yes, but she said otherwise. She said, I feel that the way you tell stories, right, you belong in creative. You should not be doing client servicing.
But now you are in client servicing.
She is in creative.
Yeah, she needs person.
No, she didn't need. She was also resigning. She was like, fuck this place. She also.
She was a senior lah.
She is creative director, managing director
Yeah.
level. And she was there for a month and she decided to resign. That's how chaotic it was. Just want to point it out.
Oh, you can resign in 1 month.
Yeah, she just said, I don't want to continue. It's bad. So I was having a cigarette with her and she said, you know what? You should be a writer. I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to be in advertising right now. I just want to be in a cafe. I'll be a barista. I don't care. I just want to be as far away from advertising as possible. And she said, please reconsider. Then I said,
Okay.
it depends on the job and depends on the pay. It depends on many things. Where is it? Then she said, it's in Mid Valley there. I'm like, oh, quite bad. Not bad. It's quite near. And then she said, let me make a phone call. So she picked up her phone on the spot as she is smoking my cigarette. And she says, Pix, you hiring a writer or not? Lady Pix says, no, we are not. There are too many writers already. She said, hey, just hire this boy. She said, look, I just told you I don't want to hire him.
No way.
Yes, I shit you not. And she was like, just give him a shot. Go and talk to him. He's coming tonight. Then I didn't even agree. So that night, I went back, I wear my suit, I go for interview at 10 p.m.
Suit na.
Yes. I always go interview in a suit. Right?
Damn.
So I go for the interview at 10 p.m. Pix was in total darkness in this office in North Point Tower. Everybody was at home already except her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is also a writer.
They're working na.
They're working together. Okay, this company is about 60 people. This is Wing Kyong's company. But Pix was the creative director and Justin was also I think head of writer or something like that. Right? So Pix, I sit in front of her and she's like, so why you want to be a writer? I said, I didn't want to be a writer. Sulin told me that I should consider being a writer. She's like, this interview is not off to a good start. Then I just said, I mean, if you want to hire me, you hire me. If you don't want to hire me, then don't hire me. I really don't care. I just don't want to be in advertising right now. She's like, why you hate it so much? We had this long 1 hour conversation and she entertained every single thought I had. And she asked me about what I liked. So I like food, right? I like Penang, I like char kway teow. Went on and she was like, actually, right, I want to hire you. Then I got the job as a junior writer. My first day, I wrote 100 titles for a stupid Toyota ad. And she's like, you don't need to give me 100, you give me the best 3 you got. And I became a writer. But a year and a half later, I was promised many things. I was promised like, oh, you get a pay raise. You get you'll move up. You'll be doing other types of projects. You won't just do cars. I was doing Lexus, Toyota, and Mini Cooper and Volkswagen. And I was like, can I do something else? BQ Johnson's baby, I'm like, wow, very difficult. Baby stuff is very difficult for me. Dodge Lady is very difficult. So I was like, I don't know, can we do other projects? They promised many things. But I was like, it depends on the clients we get. But primarily, I was very upset because they told me that I would get an increment. And didn't even ask for much. My salary at the time was 2.7. I just asked for 3K. And they said,
It's 10%.
yeah, and they said, no, we cannot afford 300 ringgit. And then I found out, although the company was like, oh, hiring freeze, pay freeze, all this stuff, whatever, because they were bought over by another company. I found out on LinkedIn, another person got promoted, another fella got promoted. And I'm like, takkan you get promoted without pay raise? So they're just telling me different information.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And I even waited. They said, you wait for 6 months. I'll reevaluate your performance. If you perform better, we will consider. And I
That's
just want
a lie.
It's a lie. But I just want to point out, right? as a writer that time, every project I worked on, we won the pitch. Every project, Astro, Johnson's Baby also I worked on, Volkswagen also I worked on. Every project I worked on, we won the pitch. So technically, right, I'm undefeated, bro. MMA terms.
Undisputed champion, huh?
Yeah. And performance-wise, right, I always contribute. One. Even discussions, I always offer my ideas. One. And you know me, I always offer my opinion, right? I'm a very opinionated person.
I mean,
right?
you self-starter, you contribute.
I will always contribute, one, even if it's a bad.
This is where they say, like, if you want to survive in workplace, if you can do work, you'll never go up. Because you're so good at doing your work, you should stay where you are at.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So I had a review, and then Pix herself told me, sorry, John, not good enough. So I was like, okay lah. Then 1 month later, I resigned. Then she said, why you resign? I'm like, I'm not good enough. That's it. Then the GM come to me, And he said, why you resign?
This is the guy below Wing Kiong lah.
Yeah. He was supposed to take over Wing Kiong. Then he said, why you resign? Then I said,
Not good enough.
not good enough. They said, you're good, what?
Not enough.
Every project. I said, yeah, but I didn't get increment. Maybe we discussed pay increment. Then I said,
Again.
it's too late, sorry.
Yeah.
Got another job, right?
Wait, but also you got another job already?
Yeah, with my mama.
Oh, your mom.
My mom told me, what kind of bullshit is this? I'm like, yeah, it's life. Then I like, but I can work with you lah.
Are you walking into another lie then?
No, I think in MEP, I feel like I've been given many opportunities, but it was slow. It was a very difficult challenge to overcome. Because like cultural things, like the company culture took a long while before it got to where it is today. I feel personally, right? I feel I like the culture a lot more now than when I joined.
So going back to your resignation story.
Yeah. So going back to the resignation story, I told Pix, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm improving here anyway, but I maintain a good relationship with her and her boyfriend and everybody in the previous company, Arachnid. They were all still my friends. In fact, I'm still in the WhatsApp group together with them until today. It's been almost 10 years.
Nice.
So it was unfulfilled promises.
Yes. Bro,
I wouldn't say false because maybe they really wanted to, but it wasn't in the timeline, the manner in which they were borderline not telling you the full truth as well.
Yes, and also I just feel like towards the very end of that tenure at Arachnid, I feel that from, I think, 6 or 7 writers, it was down to 3.
Wow, times are bad.
Okay? So from 7 to 3, the workload is still the same. And I was tanking like 33% of the work.
And they still don't.
And then I just want to say, okay, I was working with another girl named Rochelle. She's also a very good writer. She resigned on the same day I resigned.
Annoyingly, never sing.
No, she said, I'm thinking of resigning. I was also thinking of resigning.
Okay.
Then Rochelle, she came to me after that. She said, I resigned. I'm like, fuck lah. Now you gonna make me look like a dick, right? Then I went to go resign. Then Pix like, now only got Jasmine lah. Only got 1 writer. Then I'm like, sorry man, I'm not good enough.
Where's the boyfriend?
The boyfriend is Justin, who came on the podcast.
No,
he left already.
Oh, he left that time as well.
He left long time already.
All the writers.
So only Pix and Jasmine at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I left. I appreciated everything I learned there. I loved the people there. I just didn't like the decisions. And I just felt like if they gave me that 300 ringgit,
things would have been different.
I would have stayed. I would have stayed for another year, bro. I'm telling you, I love that place.
But do you think that after 10 years, you will be earning more or less compared to whatever you're earning now? Interesting question, eh?
I think definitely less, but if I stayed in the same spot, because I think the reality is in Malaysia, you have to jump.
Okay, then you hop lah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta hop.
Okay, Vincenzo, how about yours?
Well,
share what you can share.
Very similar to John, I was working in an agency for 3 years as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have this feeling. Each time you go to a new job, right? The following year, I tend to not ask too much of an increment. Do you guys have such?
I always
such
ask for increment.
I always ask for increment.
Well, back then when I started, I didn't have this feeling because I felt like, okay, I worked so hard.
Earn your...
Yeah, I worked so hard to land this job with this price that I'm being offered. So I'll stick with it. And then the following year, it's like, okay, it's up to you what you think I deserve. Of course, I'm also a good performer as well. So staying in an agency after 3 years, eventually I felt that my time is up. I've learned a lot of things that I needed to. And I have to move on to the next part. And unfortunately, the company couldn't pay me more. So that is when I decided to resign.
So it's pay and growth opportunities.
Pay, growth, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, if let's say they gave you one or the other, you would stay lah.
I would stay, yeah.
Let's say if you
For the
don't get
pay.
growth but you get pay,
Yeah.
or you get growth, or you get paid but you don't get growth, you will pick lah. If you got one,
I will
one or the
pick
other.
only paid. Because after 3 years, you kind of deserve the pay. There's not much
For
growth.
3 years, they didn't even increase your pay.
No, they did increase, but I needed to go that extra jump. I wanted to have that 15% within
Yeah.
the same company, which is pretty tough.
It's very challenging.
Because-
Not many companies can justify.
After you stay in a company more than 2 years, if you don't jump, you will not have that 15 to 20%. So you gotta you give the company a chance by asking from within internally, and you try to go up.
Sorry to cut, but do you guys overall, right, find it very interesting how a company would rather hire someone new and pay them higher than promote within? I feel it's a recurring theme across all companies, irrespective of industry. Although all three of us so far, our stories are in the creative industry or the agency-based industry, I find it so rare, right, that you get promoted within. It is damn rare, bro. It is so rare. I never know a person that stayed in an agency, right? Creative-wise, for 10 years, actually even tech or whatever, 10 years, you get like jump by 5K. Where got on?
Yeah, that's
you must
impossible.
jump on, you know. It's almost as if, right, the whole ecosystem of this working culture in Malaysia, right, is based on you need to jump to earn.
Yeah, I think it's a global thing. And I have several theories because I'm not in that much of corporate, even in my past, right? But I think part of it is just, someone said just now, because you're good at what you do, so you don't want to rock it up. The second thing is, when you increase pay, it's no more, the consideration is no more just your interest, you know, it's the other people. Because my girlfriend had this issue, she tried to demand for more pay, and then they are like, yeah, we like what you do. Basically, they're saying, we can't live without you, you know. Tell them. But we do that, it's not the pay band. They always say pay band.
It's not the what?
It's a pay band problem. We increase you,
But
if we give you what you want, then you'll be like higher than the people in your same title.
Oh, then it creates this like this chaos within because
Yes.
everybody's just like
But
talking
if
about
someone
pay.
new comes in, HR or whoever can justify ma.
Yeah.
It's a new fella, new conditions, new everything new to come in.
why not pay based on why she deserve, but just because?
Well, I personally
I
have an
don't know.
answer to that, but later on.
Well, you always feel I deserve something. Every Archie uncle is gonna feel that I deserve something more.
Self-employed guys.
No, so the reason why is because, especially in a corporate setting, the results and the activities get disjointed. So you think what you're doing is productive, but you as a small worker, you will never see
bigger picture.
why what you do matters.
Yeah.
And because it's so big, the top brass can't make that connection. So you can demand pay, but to them it's like, yeah, but you're not saving me more money or you're not making me more money. So how can I be giving you
Because
more
it's
money?
not sales driven, you see. It's not like
It's not only not sales driven, it's also not clear operations driven.
Yeah,
So there are only
yeah.
two ways only. Either you help the company make more money or save more money, right?
either way only you can
So
deserve
typically, right, the way, if I would structure a company, right, for the sales driven, it's very simple. It's a commission that fixed within your entire P&L.
Yeah.
Right? You don't give too much, don't give too little. So that one's easy. Operations is a bit difficult, but I believe the solution to that is to actually pay higher than market rate, but define very clearly what is failure for the operational role. And every time such an event or failure happens, your pay gets deducted.
Wow,
like,
that's a
it's like
penalty system.
demerit lah,
It's a
demerit.
penalty
It's a
system.
reverse sales.
Correct, because sales is very easy to measure. Right? I go out, I close the deal, I get my 1%, 5%, whatever it is. But if it's operations one, it's much harder, right? So a case in point would be, let's say you work at Tenaga National. You are the guy that may have to make sure that there's always electricity in this area. Every time, if let's say you get more than 10% outage for this period of time, deduct your salary, 5% gone. And then
Wow, that's crazy. That
so
would-
when you do that, right, guess what's going to happen?
Efficiency,
The guy is going to be
Low
on.
morale?
He's not going to be like, hey, boss, hari ni saya, I don't know why I spoke Malay, lah, but yes. Yeah, boss, today I holiday, lah, you know. Say no, right? And the idea of this came from actually Australia. So, you know, Australia is a land of criminals, right? Their history,
Yes.
they used to
Yes.
be criminals, come from England. So last time, because this is a very boring operational role, and it takes money to sustain these guys, these criminals coming from England, that these captains of the ships have to bring over, and it's a long journey, right? So throughout, there will always be sickness and all that.
Then some people die and shit.
Correct. So to maximize the profit, they will just allow the captains will allow some people to die of scurvy or whatever.
Yeah.
And they only buy enough just to sustain. And then they calculate because they were paid based on how many they brought. So they say, look, my cost, let's say, is £10,000. If one guy, gets £1,000, right? And I need to spend this amount on food or whatever. I just say if I want 5 or 6,000 profit, then I just let the rest die. I'll get only 15 to 16 to survive. The rest can die. So obviously the British government said, no, we want as many people there because we need to serve the Queen.
So they changed it to efficacy instead.
No, so they did a calculation. They say, look, every trip you will get this fixed amount, guaranteed. Everyone that dies, you get deducted.
Oh.
After that, basically no one died. Very few.
I was like thinking, wow, that's why Australians are so nice to each other. Because on the ship on the way here, they don't have to be nice to each other. Hey, jaga, share food, everything.
Most people, they go to a better paying job is because of security. So when you have that, you have the insecurity of getting a stable job then.
So that's why the way to do it is to pay above market rate.
But you have the penalty system.
Yes, so that's why you pay above market rate. So you make it harder for the guy to switch. If I pay market rate, if one company says, I'm not going to have this penalty system, but I'm going to have this penalty system, obviously the fellow go to the no penalty system,
Yeah.
because he can slack there. So let's say 5K. But if let's say I pay you 7K, but there's a penalty system. Basically, he'll be calculating, look, I can slack a bit.
Still
6.2, 6.3, okay.
And it drives you and it drives them,
It drives them.
Yeah.
And it appeals to certain characteristics. So obviously, if you are in a decision-making position, you have to think carefully whether this guy is suited. He needs to have a certain attitude. You need those people who are obsessive about
Perfectionist.
detail. Yes.
Yeah.
Obsessive a bit.
So it's not as simple as if I have the right incentive system, I'm going to get the guy. It's still, do I know that guy? But this is more on the employer side rather than...
Do you know a company that operates as such?
Nope.
Sure, but usually it's safety-centric companies. In fact, I employed it with my company before, even though I don't have a safety-centric company. I have a creative-centric. Most businesses are either creative or safety-centric, right? Tenaga is safety. What you guys do, advertising, is creative. So, I mean, if I were in your boss's position, that's exactly what I would do. I wouldn't pay you guys fixed pay. I'll be like, there's a project. There's going to be 100K coming in. I only need 1 or 2 writers. Every writers get 15% of the entire pot. That's it. If I got a project that I call you, do a project, I wouldn't have a fixed cost. But anyways, so to your question, last time, so what we do is we have to send like emails because emails are very important for our sales. And one time, my guy that I worked with, the other Jonathan, he made a mistake. He forgot to send this email. So there's a lot of money lost. So he actually came up to say that, hey, I think this one you don't need to pay me. So we pay him half. So we still paid him. So pseudo, yes, I've personally tried before, but actual case, I have to think. I'm sure there is.
Yeah, but what happens is that you then create an environment where you have people who are always constantly looking out for mistakes so that they can find those mistakes and then give you that penalty. You create that kind of
No, but he has said in the beginning, you must clearly show what the roles are.
Scope,
it's like us, if you obey the traffic rules, then it's fine. But the cops will have a KPI where they are supposed to,
It's the reverse.
Yeah, you create this kind of culture as well.
Right,
Sometimes.
that they find the mistakes.
Where they'll
to get
purposely,
penalized. Why would they find the mistakes to get penalized? Sorry.
It's
other
saving
people could
costs.
find.
Because they want to save costs,
Extra
maybe.
lah.
So, you mean the employer purposely? Yeah, of course. So that's why it's a dance. You have to see whether it's reasonable.
But that's why it has to have that clear what are the things. But it's very difficult for creative.
Very
because
hard to have clear.
That's why I say there's a creative and there's a safety-centric. So you have to understand your business model. So like what I do with mine is, because I'm creative-centric, I just say this product, that product, you have different cut levels.
I think you've mentioned this before. It's just that I think in the creative industry, especially if you're in a smaller group, right? You need to be able to diversify also.
So you see,
it's quite
if
difficult.
you give a cut as an employer, you stop thinking of bonuses already.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And the staff don't need to think. Right? And it's a different relationship with the staff. Now it's a bit like a big small partnership. I'm big, you're small. But it's partnership rather than employees.
Employee.
As far as future HR direction is, right, I think that's the way. It's a collaborative really. Yes, there's still going to be a hierarchy, but it's a collaborative hierarchy rather than a Japanese style hierarchy where I say you do, right? So there's a lot of financial benefits to the person. There's also a lot of non-financial where basically it's like, okay, you come here, you have a seat on the table and you have a voice, you have a vote basically.
Because you hold that power in that sense also, because you have been contributing. Right?
So the politics side is settled more or less and the financial side is also settled. And you don't have to think of bonus.
It's a clear divide actually, but it does divide the team. Because now I think there would be a very clear separation as to who is the salesperson and who's the operations person, right? And the salesperson would be like, I'm giving you so much sales, why you cannot operate? And you're like, look, at scale, right? Realistically, right? I only can do this. So you really have to find that balance between both, because sometimes your operations can't keep up with the overwhelming sales. And vice versa, if let's say you're paying operations higher than market rate, right? This is the downside, obviously. If you're going to be paying operations a higher than market rate and your salespeople aren't delivering, you're a recipe for disaster.
That's why, right? Every time there's churn in the company and all that, right? The employers or the management, right, can spend all their time, right, complaining about the staff, the market, or whatever, but it goes back to the management, right? Like your situation where people are resigning en masse, right, is not. If only you resign, maybe it's your fault. But if several people resign at once, right, it's the company's problem.
It was definitely the company's problem.
Because it's the common denominator.
Yeah. At that time also, when they saw that trend, right, they chose to, they were trying their very best. I can attest to it. The upper management were trying their very best, right, to hold on to people. Because they're like, we really cannot promote. We really cannot. But when I found out, and it's a fucking idiotic move, because that girl, right, who got promoted, go and post on her LinkedIn. And
my God.
And then everybody found out the moment she posted, because it's notification, and we all work in the same company.
Did she write it in a LinkedIn way?
No.
I just got promoted.
She just said, I won't say who was the name, but XYZ got promoted to account director or some shit like that.
Wow.
Then everybody was like,
If she can, why not me, right?
then everybody smoking the time where we were like, bro, did you see the fucking LinkedIn post? Then I'm like, what LinkedIn post? You saw or not? You go and fucking check now. Then everybody said, what the fuck? Bro, I tell you, right, from 50 something people, it went down to 30, bro.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, the office is divided into core left and core right? I was in core left, Core left, I think, right, from crowded, noisiest side of the office, became 4 people only, bro. Yeah, man.
All cause of XYZ.
So it also goes down to your understanding and your read of the business. You have to know that in agency business, right, it really depends on the span and the nature of the business of your clients, right? If the economy is booming, wow, very good. If the economy is bad, it's very, very bad. But certain industries, right, let's say Colgate, they always need people to do. So if you know, for example, these are your clients, then you can afford to take on more fixed costs, which is to have pay, and then you can then feel more comfortable. You're more comfortable to give that 7-10% increase. But if you are going for those more volatile ones, or maybe automotive industry, let's say, right, then you have to restructure your costs. You cannot be focusing on, you cannot have too big of a fixed cost. Like I'm in the stock market, that's why I have very little fixed costs. Everything is variable. So when times are good, my guys get rewarded, they get their pound of flesh. When it's not, then they get bones. Feast of famine.
It's rough, man. But that one also, I think it was a lot of miscomm within my second company. Like I remember the time when there was a buy over, right? A lot of people joined the company because they wanted like to work together with Wing Kyong. So there was a Wing Kyong, obviously, I think when there was a takeover, you're not allowed to divulge a lot of information. Right? You cannot say when you're resigning, etc. There's a tenure to serve in the company, etc. So when a lot of people joined because they found out like, wow, so prosperous, got bought over some more. Bought over already, wow, more new client. Wow, wow, right? Word gets around fast, I think 2 to 3 months later, fucking damn lot of people joined, bro. Then Wing Kyong left after fucking 1 month, bro.
Very nice.
Everybody damn tulan, bro. 6 months later, everybody like, what the fuck? And then hiring freeze, all these freeze. Then everybody just like, dude, this is a bad place. Then everybody chow.
So Vincent,
Yes.
what's your other stories if you want to share?
Well, not much. The other one was just basically during MCO. It was bad time, so same goes with the company. I had to retrench. I didn't even need to resign. It's more like
Retrench.
Did they give you like the compensation money?
not really. We ended up with a mutual separation.
Oh, well, like Ronaldo and MU lah.
so that I can benefit from whatever the government is offering incentive from. So sometimes you don't have to resign. You can change from resignation to mutual separation if you have a discussion with your employer. Then you might get some different benefits that may apply to you.
So for both your stories, yours is basically pay lah, the big one lah.
Yeah.
Pay was the big one lah.
You always got to go for a pay, you know.
Okay, for myself, we're actually like 34 minutes in.
What about yourself? What's your resignation story?
So mine was I joined the company. I did not expect pay. In fact, I believe in my first podcast, you guys, I said I offered to work for $0. I still got paid in the end, so that's great. But I really wanted to learn. I really wanted to grow. I wanted to contribute, right? To play a role. So I tried to do it, and not too bad in my analyst role. So what happened was, after that, I decided to. Actually, I knew the company wasn't digitizing fast enough for various reasons, right? So I actually just purely out of interest, not my job scope at all. I just started studying social media, right? That's when I started studying Vanessa Lau and all that. To learn how to create online products, to sell online products and use social media to benefit. And of course, the company already had purely through word of mouth a pretty decent client base. I won't divulge their email list size, but it's considerable. And I thought, look, this is a great launchpad that they already have. However backwards it was, it's still good, right? There's a lot of goodwill in their company. So I decided to do it, and then I decided to create these products. It was already in the works, but I started getting a lot of weird obstacles. Like for example, in what we do, we need camera, right? And that time the camcorder that we wanted was like 10K.
Okay.
For a company earning top line 4.5 million, it's nothing, right? And then it took 6 months for us to get a green light. Then when we wanted to appear in front of camera, then management said, no, we do not want superstar syndrome. They were like, okay. Because because there were non-management roles, or at least non-CEO, not the CEO being there. And people might think that we are the face of the company, me and my former partner, right? Then okay, actually for me it's a legit thing. Okay, fine. So if you don't want to do it, then you do it, the CEO, Mr. CEO, because you do teaching as well. For context, we were a financial software and financial education company.
Yep.
So say, why don't you do it? So then the CEO said, no, it's not really my thing. I am not good in front of camera, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm just sitting there and
taking this.
I'm just trying to build the business for you, right? And then a third example would be we need an email software. And then at that point in time, one of the best was this company called Infusionsoft. I don't know whether it's still around. 600 to 800 ringgit a month. Sounds like a lot, but for a company that size and for what it can do, right, it's very powerful, right? It allows you to create email sequences, right? If then. If the person buys, send this email. If the person don't buy, send these 2 emails. That kind of software.
It's automated.
It's quite nice.
In that sense.
They need the entire management whole discussion to decide on this, and the answer was no. And if I can mention a fourth one, so here's the thing. They were all Gen Xers.
Oh God.
Even one of them was a late millennial or more. Right, they were at that time 36 to 40 years old.
There was a podcast that we had with a certain guest that I had to remove the episode as well. Same thing. We worked in a large corporation.
So here's the thing.
It's not a large corporation.
It's not a large corporation. Mine was less than 30 people.
Are you fucking serious?
But here's one. I got so many stories, but here's one more. We wanted to create a crypto medium blog. It's also owned by Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter. This Medium is a blog site, medium.com. And they only use the right cryptocurrency content. I kid you not, we had 10 people. The sales team was there, the tech team was there, technology team. The research team / digital online team was there, and 3 of the 5 management team was there. We were debating for 1 hour on the color of the blog. Yellow or blue?
Blue lah.
Hey, branding's important, man.
Okay, so I take this into account. That's when I thought, and And then also they got listed, and I actually wanted more shares lah. Actually, I requested more, and I didn't get it. So it's like, okay. So I take all this into account. I think I'm trying to build an entire business unit for you. Oh, and then sorry, one more thing. I knew at my level, I knew the break-even point of the company. Okay, so for context, right? If you're a business owner, right, it's absolutely crucial to know what is your break-even point. Basically, right, whatever you're selling, product or service, how many units you need to sell, right? So that day, your cash balance will remain the same. There's no money outflow. Very important.
Yeah.
So then you know how much to charge, you know how many sales you need to close, you know what you need to do. And I still remember that number was 9.2. I still remember. We needed to close 9.2 people a month to close. And when I brought this up to the management at that point in time, I showed him the A to Z. Here is the ad spend. Here is the salary. I even took everybody's salary and then I just carved out the portion that I think that they were using for this particular product. Then I take in the depreciation of the equipment. Then I factor in the electricity.
You basically did a whole quotation lah.
The
Basically,
entire whole thing. And I said 9.2.
And the fellow say,
CEO don't know.
Is a hired CEO or that CEO is a founder?
Founder's son.
Founder son. Let's not jump to conclusions. Yeah.
I bet he said, 这个是什么?
No, I mean, and what I like was when I went through this because I was like so excited. Honestly, it sounds like I'm doing this because it's like, oh, I need to do this. But actually, yes, I need to do this.
And you
but
like it?
I was like excited because it was a new thing to me, marketing and all that. So I created that A to Z. I still remember I was so excited explaining the entire whiteboard. I rubbed everything. Okay, here is here are the leads. Here are the leads. Here is our landing page. Here's our current conversion. We did this. Here's the improvement of the conversion. Then we go here. Product 1, upsell. Product 2, bang, bang, bang. What is recurring? What is not recurring? The whole flow. I was like drawing this. And you could tell, like your HR experience, you could tell the response was they're not interested to hear.
Yeah.
And then they just say, hey, what do you think if we charge the product at this price?
They just
I'm like, bro, I just gave you the break-even point.
You know, I also run something small myself as well. But some businesses are not meant to make profit. Like maybe their goal is to amass a number of subscribers so that they can then sell it. So maybe top management wise, they know this goal and they're not.
But it wasn't communicated to you also.
And they can't communicate. So when you have a young executive level guy coming in to tell you what your business could do better, the CEO might probably be thinking, you don't really know what we're achieving.
But you can't think that because you never say.
So, what do you mean?
You if you think that is not fair for him because you never tell him what was the goal, what?
Yeah. But at the same time, whatever goes on in the CEO said, right? The fella is sometimes in his own world,
Yeah.
His own world, bro.
Yes.
It's just like, you all should know, right? But actually, you didn't even say. You didn't even know the importance. You didn't even tell anybody all this. You didn't even say your objectives. You didn't say what is it. This guy is in his own world, bro. Then after that, he's like listening to your whole thing, right? He's like, I'm thinking about something else right now. So it doesn't matter what you think.
Yes.
That's true.
Then when I organized the meeting for that, why can't you just say, I'm not up for it?
Yes. No. But his face also, they're like, no lah, boss, like you chance, show you,
But I think regardless, right, whether you tell objective or not, right, I'm giving you something that makes you more money and saving you more time. I don't care what objective you have lah. If you're running a company and this is not in your list of objectives,
That's kind of bad.
It is. MJ came up with a thesis, bro, for the guy, and he's like, how much should we charge?
I say, hey bro, that's the wrong question. Is how many can we sell and all that?
Yeah, 5W1H, man.
And then when I started also doing some training where they gave like some incentive fee during the weekend, right? They said this amount, and then actually, you are still probation, so we give you half, which wasn't even there. So anyways, you all might be asking, why isn't he taking all this in? I cannot review on the podcast, maybe after this, but basically, there was a lot of cash being funneled to other things. Which meant, right, that whatever I'm suggesting, even though it's the long-term solution, even though it's the structured solution to create foundations for 5-year, 10-year runways, but when you need money now, you're not thinking of this kind of thing. And so, long story short, they started focusing more on corporate instead of retail, because I was focusing on retail, I'm selling B2C. They were selling B2B. And And a lot of Malaysian companies get excited by B2B more than B2C because B2C is hard work. You need to convince the guy, you need to run these ads,
It's quite hard sale.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
But B2B, the money is big, so they like it. But what they don't realize is even if the amount is big, if you don't calculate your cost properly, actually very often, right, you don't make a lot of money with corporates because they demand so much. Because they know they are paying you so much.
That's why they ask for
And
a
they
lot
press.
more. They ask for a lot more.
Correct. So, but he was excited about that because he saw the sales number was very big. Compared to what I was suggesting, it wasn't as big. But the margins for what I was suggesting was a lot bigger, i.e. like cold hard cash profit. But whatever that profit would come in would not satisfy whatever issues that were going on. So he needed the big thing. But then by going for the big thing, you get a lot of, you can...
Additional XYZ that
you can see in the invoice, you can invoice the big guy a lot of money, but the big guy will pay you in 9 months.
The cash term now is damn bad. So
But if you settle your consumer side, your B2C,
Get cash.
immediate, bro.
I know, man.
But they cannot do it. So I mean, there's a lot of more for me to say. But if I really summarize,
Fuller is a boomer.
no, he's
it's
a
not, it's
millennial.
Gen X.
He's like 36 at a point in time.
Oh, that time 36
Young.
No lah, Gen X I think.
He's Gen X, yeah, we are not boomer, and so
Not boomer. the answer is not boomer.
So your reason of resigning is that you can't affect change.
no, actually, I'll put it very simple lah. Actually, my whole objective ever since I started working was to find
Peace.
good mentors. Because that's the most valuable one. They open things up, they guide you and all that. So my biggest weakness in my career journey has been choosing the wrong mentors. And then I realized actually that really is an admission of a lack of self-confidence. That actually, you know, there's this guy Naval Ravikant, right?
Wait, he's on Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah, he said you do not need mentors, you need action. Then I realized that's true. Actually, nobody really knows exactly what is going on man, at the end of the day. You just have to go out and
Experience life
and then just do it. And so why is that if I work with someone and under someone, and contrary to popular belief, many people say that if I run my own company, I'll never work for someone. This is absolutely false because that's where I started. I work for someone. But I need to work for someone where, of course, appreciated. Of course, it makes me feel like I'm at the table discussing on the issues. But more importantly, even if you disagree, if you don't like what I'm doing, at least I feel that you've contended with what I say. Back to your experience with your HR versus the lady you were smoking with, pigs, right?
No, Sulin.
One of the thing, Sulin is the HR.
No,
Pix was
Pix is the
The
person.
hiring, okay, Sulin. The one smoking with you, right?
Sulin.
Right. Why you bothered giving it a go even though you're like not really interested was because you felt like she hurt.
Yeah,
You. You're like-
absolutely. She's like actually listening to what I'm saying compared to the HR lady who was not. She was not even. She was there, but she wasn't there, bro.
So for me, if I can sum it to your question, right? If I cannot respect you, that's it. I'll no, I say not as a human being, of course, but I'm saying in what you do. And respect doesn't mean that you know more than me, no. Respect can mean actually I don't know.
You admit it.
I don't know. Can you figure out for me? I can respect that. You do not need to be know more than me or that, but you need to be a good manager of people. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think as a lot of us grow older, so I feel like when you go into management, you're not even doing the real work. You're kind of like
just managing people, that's it.
You just gotta know how people feel.
Yes.
That's why I also feel like I always go back to the Alex Ferguson manager thing, right? I feel that the success of Manchester United in the past, right, is because of his ability to know the players and his staff and everybody even in the canteen, they serve food, he know their names and all that one, you know.
Yeah.
It's so good because he understands how to manage people. But a lot of bosses and managers and quote and unquote leaders nowadays, they feel like they are damn good at being a boss, but they are not because they don't know their people. Like I always bring up this example. If let's say your boss sends you an email or WhatsApp message, okay, on a Sunday night, 10 p.m. versus the next morning, 9 a.m., Monday morning, 9 a.m., and say I need it end of day Monday, which one you feel better?
Sunday night.
You feel you really prefer if your boss tell you Sunday night, 10 p.m., then that Monday end of day you need to complete? Or you prefer Monday morning 9 a.m. he message you?
I mean,
I need it end of day
it
today.
depends on the company lah. If my boss replies me on Saturday and Sunday as well, likewise, if he message me at 10 p.m. means I know something is wrong, then I will.
No, but both deadlines are the same.
I'm well prepared lah. You don't you have more further times to be prepared?
What do you guys think?
If I was doing corporate and there's a specific time that I should come into work, then of course it would be great to be respectful as a boss to do it on a Monday morning. However, if you were to do it on a Sunday night, because I understand from a boss's perspective, maybe it's urgent, what you need to do is, hey, I know it's a Sunday night, but recognize that this is important and we need you for this reason. If you can connect the crisis to the why they need the person, even if the person, yes, outside my work life, at least the person will feel
Okay lah.
like I'm here. It's like a bomba ma.
Does the boss expect by sending the email at 10 something that I want you to work on it right now?
No, it is by the same deadline, Monday night.
Then if that's the case, from my perspective, I can understand how it feels like to be excited about something or to be pressed by something and you want to communicate it out immediately so that you can have a good night rest. Because a lot of bosses, they'll be like, I have this idea, I want to communicate it out. And if I don't share it out now, I scare I might lose it, all this kind of stuff. So a hack, I think it's quite good for a lot of management to do that, is to create a separate group and send that out. That group has nobody. It's just for you to I send out. Yeah, I just went out.
Or you write it in notes or something.
Yeah, you must do the action of sending. You send it out so that the next day you forward it.
It's like the employer side of things.
Yeah.
For me, I feel you need to see the situation. I feel like you need to know the people.
Yeah.
So it's not the right, both are not right or both are not wrong. I feel like you need to know the situation. Like if you know that person, right, works better if you send it on Monday, right? You need to know. If you know that guy works better on a Sunday night, you send to him because he needs more time, right? You send to him on Sunday night. But the answer is you should know your people well enough to when to send. It's not when. The answer is who. Then you'll know when. So a lot of people don't think this is just, fuck it.
Actually, I would say,
So what's the conclusion?
I would say, right, this is a semi-conclusion. I think the reason why a lot of bosses don't do it is because actually A is difficult, and the reason it's difficult is B, because there's a lot of what you call that, mushy. It's a mushy thing. It's not clear. It's not like a KPI.
It's
or
not
something like that.
it's not a rule. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's not a rule. It's not a formula. It's,
but
I know the person. He likes Japan. Maybe every now and then I should buy something from Japan. Just give it to you.
Something like that, I don't know. But if you know, I can tell you your return is fucking high.
Yeah.
Because going back to the football manager thing, right?
So Alexa.
If you know your player, right, operates the best, right? Don't you want your player to operate the best? Don't you want this guy you're paying salary to do the best possible way? You know how to fire. Some people, right?
Are you comparing
fire them
that
up.
to a normal SME corporate job?
I think it's the same. I think the analogy is the same.
Bro,
honestly.
Man United is in the fucking England stock market. I mean, like it's listed one, The whole
Not the
Ferguson
same.
know everybody, bro. And that's why they can succeed.
I agree that that's a good approach, but if you think of
But you need to pick your battles, lah, right?
Yeah.
Like if you know that the key 11 people that are playing in that team on that weekend, you need to cater to that, lah. But if you know that the team is going to go eat, then you know you're going.
I think yes. I think it is the composition of your team also. So if let's say they are all just a bunch of, order takers, right? Be the bossy guy.
Yeah, correct.
But you see in the Man United case, it's a bunch of 20-year-old millionaires with a lot of ego. So they'll do things like to motivate people, right? It's not sometimes a speech on like the classic example is the real Ferdinand story.
Yeah,
they walk in the bus.
Die for the father.
Then no. Like you walk into the bus, then suddenly say, so and so player said that you're not as good anymore. Then you just show him the paper, show real Ferdinand, which is the top defender. He said this. Just before the game.
Got fired up, bro.
Yeah, win. That's it.
But I think that my point here is, I feel like if you know SME, I think if you know if you have an SME, you should know people.
Because smaller, ma.
Yeah, I mean if it's a big corporation, maybe a bit harder. But I think you should be able to influence your directors, key decision people. But if you know these kind of things, right, and you know what makes them tick, really can go damn far, and they'll stay damn long one because they know how you operate. And then we are like on the same fucking wavelength, bro. And they will stay for that chemistry one.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
True.
Yeah,
because they know.
And I think another one to your point, right? As an employer, right? You shouldn't micromanage and you shouldn't jump your middle management. What I mean,
Oh yeah, man,
bypass.
the micromanaging is fucking.
Basically, you have to decide, right? And this, if you ever, I mean, in your case, definitely there already. You have how many employees now?
Currently, I think 20.
20, right? Actually, all that needs to be done, right, is to talk to 3, maximum 5 people only. I only talk to 3 to 5 people. Even for myself, right? Even though my company is small, by and large, right, I just communicate with Jonathan, and he will manage by and large. Sometimes I will go and
Talk to.
do it because it's simple, and I know that me bypassing Jonathan won't be an issue.
Yeah.
But by and large, right, I just tell him this is what the expectations, and all the details and all that pops up issues. You small one, out team. But I think a lot of bosses, because they are so like
Invested in the project.
so, right, they'll tell the middle management, okay, then the management tell the lower management or lower.
The fucker low management say, hey, the big boss told me already.
Yeah, big boss tell me. Then the lower guy is like, so who do I listen to? And I still remember this, right? Because I wrote one of the best ads ever for my company. I can send to you later, right? It was to hire someone for a certain role. It was a full on. I put my heart and soul into it. It was one of the best, right? I can send it to you all later on. And the COO said, damn good, post online. COO, no, this is CO -1, no, I post. Straight away, someone forwarded, the CTO forward. Who did this? Who said this should be done? Then the CEO, who is also not very firm, suddenly respond, hey, yeah, can we please take it down? Guys, we need to have the proper what? So I look at the COO look at me. Then the CEO said, yeah, no, man, let me handle this. So apparently the CEO got a share link from them. I look at the CEO look at me, I was like, and at the end of the day, right, the thing should have gone out anyway. So, it's, you know what I mean? You don't want this to happen. So you just have to manage just these 4 or 5 people. And honestly, as a boss, right, you just manage 4 or 5 people. That's all you need. Right? I just tell this guy, make it happens. Tell this one guy, yeah, I don't talk to everybody. I mean, unless it's for fun, ask them how things.
But even so, for me, right, I feel that if you were to be, let's say, if I'm in my position right now, 20 people, right, I should know everybody.
Yes. But you're not quite your mom's position yet. I think when you come, then maybe.
I feel it's a different way of management. It's always a different way. I feel like the way my mom, and I'm not saying it's wrong, I feel like the way that she manages people is with power. And it works, It works because people operate better with fear. Actually, a lot of human beings are operated by fear. So it's the most effective thing.
So what do you mean? Like they will threaten no salary?
It's just like haki, bro. You just go in there, you're like, what I never do.
Okay.
Bro, there was one boss, right? Pix had a co-boss. His name is Ming, bro. I still remember. This guy's haki is fucking mad, bro. For context, haki is like power.
It's aura. I think it's aura.
Bro, this guy, right? There was this gangster, right? Who like don't want to do the design work, He didn't even listen to the briefing, bro.
Gangsters.
In the company, he looked like a gangster.
Yeah.
I won't say his name. So you don't do work, all these damn rebel, right? Then me and my other account manager went to the room and talked to Ming, I was like, hey Ming, that guy over there, he don't want to do the job. He's not even listening to the brief, He was like looking through the freaking newspaper while we're talking to him, Then Ming was like, is it? Then Ming was like, you wait here. He go out of his room, right? Then let's just call him Tom. Tom. Then he turned around. Free or not? Then Tom, I come in 5 minutes. Come when you're free. So 5 minutes later, Tom comes in, right? Then Ming sit in front of him. Then Ming is on his... Bro, Ming is huge, by the way.
He's a overweight
He's
guy.
fucking big. He's like 1 head taller than me. He's a small MacBook Air, Then he just type. Then he's like, can do or not the job? He said, quite busy. I do for you. Suddenly Tom is like, oh no boss, I can do. No, I'm serious. You want me to do or not? Then Tom was like, no I'll do it, boss. Because over there, they all say you're too busy, I do for you Then he like, no boss, I do. You say one, Go Bro, that's it, bro. I was there, bro. I felt it. That's all he had to say, bro. The fear works, man. But he doesn't even yell, bro. He just, I do for you. So I kind of use that now.
Is Ming, is this dude talking a guy in position of power?
Yes.
He's the top guy.
He's the top guy, top G, bro. The only fella above him is Wing Kiong.
And I think that's why.
That's good
But my point is, there's a different type of haki, right? Sometimes the fellow will yell, raise their voice, etc. This guy just asks questions. I do for you. I do for you.
Bro, this is like your mom asking you, go and take.
No. My mom is different.
No,
She will say, go and take it.
It's like example. Example, your mother's like, your parents, go and eat lah. Or your girlfriend is like, you want to go out lah. Then you're like,
So I do know
fuck
this.
lah.
Like there are people in my team who have certain egos. They're like, I'm very busy. Is it? I do lah.
You try before, it works.
Yeah, it works. Then they're like, no lah, I don't. No lah, serious. I do
feel
lah.
like I know who's that.
Yeah, you know, because I do
feel
it.
like
I
I
know
know,
people's
like-
weaknesses. I feel like I can read because after I've done it so many times, right, I know everybody's individual weakness. I just know how to use it. Yeah, I need it to be done, bro.
So we run through everybody's
Story.
experiences of resignation.
Yeah.
What are some conclusions? Did you have a semi-conclusion?
So I think
earlier?
my conclusion is, I think it depends on your goal also. Like for me, I want to do my best and to grow as much as I can. And for me, number one is growth. If there's an impediment, then it's time to chow. In my case, it was my perceived mentors. I thought would be good, and it wasn't, and then I'm out. So pay. I think I didn't work in the corporate world long enough to say like pay is a big thing. I'm sure it would have been. But yeah, I would say the respect component is very important.
Quite a shame that Andrew was not here. Andrew would have been able to give a lot of input for this.
Yeah. My take is that no matter what it is, you can go for flexibility, its benefits, its reputation, job titles. But at the end of the day, in today's world where the economy is like so bad with inflation, you got to always aim for the 20%. And then you try to find what's best
Yeah.
within. But you always got to hit that KPI. But you got to be flexible about it.
What's your take?
Wake up, hit the gym, go and work, eat your chicken, and sleep.
The resign part?
Right of Rohirrim.
Right, Rohirrim. Resign part. I would go based on the first job lah, because the second job that I took is more or less my issue. I'm a people person. I didn't like what the guy did.
Got it.
My take is that I think you need to know what your goal is, but I think it's more important that you should ask yourself what you're good at every year lah. So if you know what you're good at, then you know how to kind of sell that. And then even if you were to consider resigning, you should try to highlight what you're good at so that people know your value.
Sounds good.
And even if they don't recognize your value, you know what that value is so you can carry it to the next job. So if you resign, do know what your value is so you know how to sell it. That's my take. I think we can rack up. Rack up. We rack it up. We wrap it up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think about this episode. If you are not a Patreon member, do consider. It helps fund the podcast.
Thanks, Becky.
Thanks, Becky.
Oh, is it that Becky? I think I know which Becky you're talking about.
Really?
She watches my stuff as well.
Thanks, Becky.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Becky only recently increased.
Yeah.
Wow.
So thanks, Becky.
We need to go out with.
I met her with her before. I brought her with Tofu Fa with Jen. Yeah, over here in Oji. Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Love you long time.